Do you know what the top 3 mistakes are that families tend to do when faced with addiction? Hi, I'm Kimberly Velez, a licensed mental health counselor in the state of Florida. This YouTube channel is really to help pass along information and tips and strategies that I have seen work with families in almost my 8.5 years of being in the field as a clinician treating addiction. So welcome, and let's get started. The first mistake that I see families tend to make over and over again when faced with addiction is they think that they can stop the addict. Unfortunately, when we're dealing with adults in addiction, everyone is powerless around them and no one can actually make the addict stop using. And I wish that weren't the case. I wish that every family standing behind the addict, would have the power to stop them, but you guys don't. And the faster you understand that and accept that, then the faster the work can start that needs to start in regards to empowering the families and looking at, what can we do? What are our options? Where is it critical that we apply these effective strategies? What can we do different? Where can we empower ourselves? That's my hope, again, in sharing this information on YouTube, is to really start empowering and educating families when they're faced with an adult addict. So the second main mistake that I tend to see families make is that they don't get help for themselves. I'm talking about having a therapist, a support group, something where the families continue to go on a regular basis and get the proper guidance, support, and education in dealing with an adult addict. So it's critical that you not only get the support in the short term, but that families are also setting up the stage for long-term support. Recovery is lifelong. It doesn't stop. So 2 things that families really need to be aware of when they're faced with addiction, and it's really understanding, are we fueling the addictive process or are we supporting recovery efforts? Is that no one is maliciously or knowingly fueling the addictive process. In fact, that's where the getting help and the education and the guidance and support really comes into play to help families look at and understand how they're dealing and responding to their loved one and given strategies that support the recovery efforts of their loved one. So again, it's critical that the families do get help. The third mistake that I see families typically make over and over again is poor follow through when it comes to boundaries. So a boundary is when someone decides they are willing to either accept a behavior from someone else or not accept that behavior from someone else. So when you're dealing with an addict, especially in active addiction, they tend to manipulate your love and concern, and addiction definitely exploits your love and concern for them. So it's really critical that families implement boundaries and then actually follow through, that do not allow their loved one to be harmful to them, whether it's physically, emotionally, or mentally. Families really struggle with this and really need, again, support and people around them understanding how addiction does exploit the family's care and concern, and why families may have to be rigid in setting certain boundaries with their loved one. And again, all of this is in the process of setting up the recovery efforts versus fueling the addictive process. I have a link below where I have compiled a list of the top 3 resources that every family should know about that's faced with addiction. So please check it out. It's free. It's valuable information. It'll help jumpstart you guys in your area of where you need to go and what's available. So please check it out below.